I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Dude, are you okay?
I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this and I will take that ride home.
If there's one thing every car guy hates, it's cleaning the garage. Do you want to take most of the time and hassle out of that job? Then call Zone Garage of Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Agnes and her crew will have your garage, shop, basement, or even your porch looking great all the time. With unique patterns and designs, plus the ability to incorporate your logo or any artwork, your space will never have looked better. Installation is done in 1 day, guaranteed, and Zone Garage offers a 20-year warranty on the top coat. Their coatings are durable, anti-slipped, and impact resistant. Give them a call at 570-856-6067. That's 570-856-6067 for Zone Garage of Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey.
I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
At 600cc Performance, our roots run deep in CC racing. A leader in fuel injection, dyno tuning, wiring, and diagnostics. With over 15 years of experience in building and tuning, you can count on us to get you to the winner's circle. Whether it is diagnostics, sales, or service, 600cc Performance is your source for everything CC racing. Find out more at 600ccperformance.com. Throughout the course of human history, spaceflight has been viewed as the final frontier. Traveling to a place so inhospitable to man that, for millennia, he dared not even attempt to conquer it. Early on, it was only possible through electronics and battery-powered devices. That all changes this October when DADAS, the DeWeather Astronautical Technology and Space Systems Project, goes deeper than any other in our history. The dedicated Intense Lightning Detection Object, or Dildo-1, will take to the skies in our first test of woman and machine. An effort to understand what makes things so electric, so explosive, that few men in recorded history have seen its power firsthand. We invite you to join us and support DADAS and Dildo-1 as we expand man's knowledge. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Hungaro Ring, where tonight the National Racing Network is proud to present the opening round of the Indy Pro 2000 Official Series Championship. My name is Chris Graham, joined in the booth, as always, by Mr. James Watson. And James, we've got a bit of an honor here, bud, because it looks like this is the first race broadcast from the Hungaro Ring in iRacing history. That's pretty cool.
Hooray! We did something of note. That's awesome.
Yes, we are doing something cool. What it is, I'm not entirely sure here, but qualifications just getting underway here. 26 cars entered in tonight's race. That means we are going to have two splits of 13 cars apiece. And the biggest name, and I'm not sure how much of a surprise it is, quite frankly, but no Greg Seitz entered into the race here this evening. That one's going to be a pretty big deal. It means this entire field is completely wide open.
Yeah, I wonder if he's taking the season off and letting everyone, have their fun and have good finishes before he comes back the next season and kicks all of our butts again.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's only so much ass beating you can do. Eventually, at some point, I would imagine it becomes a little bit monotonous, but everybody is out on track with the exception of Michael Reiskamp. So 12 cars on the circuit right now. We're following along with Mike Holler. I would imagine this is going to be one of the guys we're at least going to have to look at as a contender. Mike carrying the number 5 plate tonight. Scott McIntyre is the number 1. Everett Paddock the 2. Frank Wynn, Brett Gardner will carry the numbers 3 and 4. Mike Holler is very quick and can be competitive with Everett Paddock, but without Greg Seitz in the field, is this really Everett Paddock's race to lose?
It's definitely a possibility. We all know how stupid quick Everett is, but he's still got some pretty stiff competition this time around, too. I mean, Mike Holler is definitely no slouch, that's for sure.
Yeah, and this schedule is going to be very, very interesting this season. Kicking things off tonight at the Hungaroring. Next week, we head to Road Atlanta for our first broadcast on the National Racing Network from that very, very fast road course located in Brazelton, Georgia. Then 40 laps on the oval at Charlotte Motor Speedway, which you would almost think it's a little bit too big for these cars, but that sounds like it's going to be basically what the pack race is for this season.
Yeah, that's going to be, I don't know how much fun that's going to be. You can't really pass very well at Charlotte. It's going to be a parade around the bottom unless people die.
Yeah, we'll say it this way, it could either go very good or very, very bad. We'll see how that one lines up. Week number 4, you'll see us head off to the Red Bull Ring and then to Belle Isle in Detroit. 2 very good racetracks for this car. Then back to Charlotte Motor Speedway, but this time for the Roval as Mike Holler goes quick time at a 1:39.437. Week 7, we head off to Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway. One of the best car and track combos on the iRacing platform, the PM18s and Gateway. Round number 8 is the next wild card. We don't have a trip to the Nürburgring this season. Instead, it's going to be Mount Panorama. Again, another one that you just go, okay, this could either be really good or really, really bad.
Oh, man. I couldn't turn out any worse than the last time an NRN broadcast was at Bathurst, that's for sure.
That's true. Crownhurst was a glorious dumpster fire, though. Oh, man, what a save by Everett. That was fantastic. The last 4 weeks of the season, we'll see the Indy Pro 2000 circuit head to the Suzuka circuit for the Grand Prix layout, the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve up in Montreal, the Milwaukee Mile, and Road America. 4 great courses for this race car. I think this really has the potential to be a very, very fun season for the PM18s.
Yeah, this is a nutcase schedule. The last few schedules have been, pretty good. Some decent tracks, but so many wild cards. We're in for a treat. I can't wait.
Everett Paddock goes quick time, but not by much. How about 8 thousandths of a second? Mike Holler goes back to the top of the board, 139.268. We'll follow Paddock around for the end of his second lap. See what he's going to be able to do here. Have to watch the off courses there. How about Brett Gardner going quickest middle sector overall? Gardner carrying that number 4. Will follow Everett Paddock along to the end of the lap. Making that final right-hand turn right at pit entry. Big sweeping, almost 180-degree corner down over across the start-finish line. Everett Paddock, no quick time, top of the board, 138.954. Fantastic lap. Brett Gardner went a fast middle sector and didn't get the lap in. 2 laps, neither of them are going to count. Picking up Chris Preston as he finishes his second lap. The first one did not score. See what he's going to be able to do here on lap number 2. Basically, the laps don't score if you have an off-track or an issue of some sort. And lap number 2 does not score either. Mike Reiskamp going to be the final driver with a chance to set a lap time. Only 10 of the 13 getting a lap in the books. Good run for Andy Corsa, up to third quick. 1 minute 39.596. A lot of F1 liveries on these cars here. That always makes me nervous when you see the American series and cars running F1 liveries on them.
Yeah, Lord knows I've been killed by enough people with Ferrari and Mercedes liveries.
We do actually have point standings already as we're approaching the end of the first full week of 2021 Season 4. Mike Holler is the point leader. He has 1 start, 1 win, leading all 18 of the laps he's completed to score 148 points. Tom Whitmer currently second in points. Alexander Peregrina, Robert Lowry, and Ann Medema, your top 5. I would imagine we're going to see Ann making her way up towards the top of the charts here pretty darn rapidly. But with that, qualifications are done. And it is just about time to go racing here. Pick things up from the overhead view. And we'll get you tonight's starting lineup, as all the cars are going to get gridded up here, will be the short pace lap this evening. Your starting grid for tonight's race will be Everett Paddock and Mike Holler on row number 1. Andy Corsa, Jason Owens on row 2. Excuse me. Holy cow. I'm choking on myself that Jason Owens has a top 5 qualifying spot. Scott McIntyre, Giancarlo Schooler on row number 3. Andy Schlosser, Frank Wynn on row 4. Mike Reiskamp, Simon Fell on row number 5. J.W. Miller and Brett Gardner on row number 6. Gardner not getting a lap in, so he will be very interesting to watch as this race rolls on. And Canadian Chris Preston will occupy the only grid slot on the 7th and final row. 18 laps going to be the distance here this evening. Let's.
I'm shocked. You're right. He is qualifying in 4th. I have to do my own.
I was going to say, Jason Owens, congratulations on a top 5 qualifying spot here, brother. You had me choking on myself that you put that car inside the top 5. Good run there, bud. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys. Got 150 laps of practice this week. Gotten some coaching. This place kind of feels like an oval. We'll go with that. So we're getting ready to go green here. Go have some fun, right?
Yeah, brother. Good luck tonight, man. Thank you very much. Field's going to make their way around. And again, it is the short pace lap here, so things are going to happen in a relative hurry here. Mike Holler, Everett Paddock going to lead the field down to green. Off the final corner, green flag going to fly, and we will be underway in the Indy Pro 2000 Championship for 2021 Season 4.
All right, hopefully no one does a bow toss coming into turn 1.
Oh, here it comes, Mike Holler. Big dive down to the inside. Paddock tried to pinch him off just a little bit. They're going to run side by side out of 1. Not a big run here down into turn 2. Paddock's going to have the preferred line. Nice job by Holler, hanging right with him. If Holler can stay there, he'll have the line into the following corner. Oh, man, what a great duel at the front.
I was going to say, I wouldn't say the inside is the preferred lane at that corner. You get such momentum going around the outside that you honestly want to be where Mike was. He just couldn't hang on to it, though. But if he can stay behind during all the weird squiggly bits, he might have another opportunity when they come back to turn 1.
Oh, Jason Owens runs a little bit wide, almost making contact with Scott McIntyre.
Scotty Mac is a big-time streamer. I think this is the first time we've seen him in the Thursday Night SOF. This is cool.
McIntyre putting up a big fight here on Jason Owens. They're losing a little bit of ground to Andy Corsa for the podium spot. So if McIntyre is going to get to the front, he's going to have to clear Owens pretty quickly.
Ooh, battle for the lead. Yeah,
They say big battle for the lead. Holler thought about making the dive bomb down to the inside. Elects better of it. Here comes McIntyre getting around Jason Owens. He's going to be able to set sail, try to pick up on Andy Corsa. But we go back to the battle for the lead because Mike Holler is right there.
Oh, is he gonna... Oh, he was thinking about going around the outside. That would have been the move to end all moves.
I think Paddock may have seen him just a little bit because he left more room into that corner.
Yeah, Everett's no dummy. He's gonna err on the side of caution. Because you never know. He could wind up taking all 3 of them out if he's not careful.
Yeah, and Mike's no dummy either. And that to that, excuse me, to that point, I don't think either one of these drivers is going to be willing to take the big risk that early in the race. All Mike Holler has to do is stay with Everett Paddock and let him make the mistake at some point.
Exactly. We all know how big the draft is in cars. You know, how many times have we seen Greg and Everett and Mitchell nose to tail lap after lap? So Mike knows he just has to stay right there, try to wait, see if there's any chance of a rare mistake from Everett. Otherwise, try to make some sort of walk-off move in the last few laps.
Tell you what, Jason Owens doing a nice job staying with Scott McIntyre here.
I know, I'm so proud. Like, look at him. He looks like a proper road course driver. He's putting in the work. He doesn't want to get run over for when TNT goes to the Rovals next week.
Yeah, there is something to be said for that. Good battle back here as well. Giancarlo Schooler, Frank Wynn, Andy Schlosser, and Brett Gardner. Gardner's gained 3 spots since the start of this race, but little bit held up here behind the 12 of Andy Schlosser. Everett Paddock has settled the gap down to about 0.4 of a second over Mike Holler. You almost wonder if Holler... Oh, man.
That's not the line you want to take.
Yeah, that's a curb that'll launch you halfway into orbit there.
Yeah, we all know how...
Gardner taking the big dive.
Ooh, almost a bit of a slide job. That's kind of a cool move. Yeah, we've all seen how much damage sausage curbs can do, so I don't think the 12 wants to wants a repeat of what happened on Sunday.
Yeah, that was we'll leave that conversation for another show, but this is the tightest battle on the racetrack right now. Schlosser giving up a little bit of ground to Chris Preston. He started shotgun on the field, now up to the 10th position. I would imagine now as we're working lap number 4, this is sort of where you're going to start to really settle in. Cars are going to about get where they probably should be on pace.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit where it's not going to be quite like that. You know, the draft's still going to play parts in it. We're still going to see some moves. But yeah, we're not going to see a huge pack like we did unless someone majorly screws up. I mean, hell, we're even starting to see Everett and Mike pull away from Andy. Andy's kind of by himself at this point.
This could be a championship battle that we see throughout the season. Really looking forward to watching what Mike Holler's able to do. The way he improved from the first race to the last race of 2021 Season 3 was really pretty impressive. I would have to say Mike Holler is a name that we can put up there now with the Greg Seitz, Everett Paddock, Mitch Green, the McDonald brothers. You can add Mike Holler's name to that list.
Yeah, I'd say Mike is probably the most improved driver from last season. You know, he was solid when the season started, but he was just getting closer and closer. You could see him in the background when we were focused on Everett and Greg. We can't say that about many other people with how far and away better Greg and Everett were last season.
Oh, a little bit of a bobble there by Everett Paddock. That's going to bring Mike Holler right back into play.
You know, poor Everett, he was probably like, all right, no Greg. I probably got a good shot at this. And he's like looking in his mirror. Oh, no, here we go again.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's Mike Holler's just not going away. That's probably one of the most frustrating things as a driver is when you think you should have more pace and somebody that you go, yeah, I should probably be a couple of tenths, whatever, quicker than this guy, and they just don't go away. It's got to get frustrating behind the wheel.
Oh, it is the worst thing possible. You're just watching the mirror like, what the hell is going on? He should not be that close. What am I doing wrong? What is happening?
One of the things we'll have to keep an eye on over the course of this race is how the track limits are enforced. Seeing a little bit of a connection issue there for Everett Paddock, but one of the big things is where you have runoff areas that the car can run wide does not mean that you're okay to run there. That can still be a 1x off track. If the limit's at, 15 or whatever it is, you could absolutely be out of this race just on the DQ for the incident points.
Yeah, these European circuits are mean, man. Just looking at the AstroTurf and boom, 1x. Oh, here we go. Here's the move. Oh, he's still there. Oh, we might be side by side through turn 2. This is going to be great.
Once again, Mike Holler not going away, just being a pest to Everett Paddock. And how many guys made a career off of that in the real world? You're just there. And when the opportunity strikes, that's your chance to seize it. That's what we're seeing Mike Holler do right now. We're going to slide back in the pack a little bit here. Pick up Brett Gardner. He's only about a tenth off the back of Giancarlo Schooler, and he'll make the move. Schooler lets him through easily. That's going to improve Brett Gardner up to the 6th position, and he's going to be right on the rear wing of Jason Owens.
We'll see if Jason can make that Extra Life Riley Children's car as wide as he can.
One of the things that Jason has talked to us about in the past is a lot of these road courses, the goal is ultimately 0x. Keep the car in one piece, don't make any big mistakes, and try to avoid the little mistakes wherever possible. It's a great way to get yourself top 10 finishes, but it also may have you in a position where you're holding up a guy that's obviously faster.
Yeah, well, I don't think this is one of those drives by Jason. I think he can tell he's got the speed. You can tell he's pushing. He's just not putting around there. He's driving that. Probably not as hard and as aggressive as Mike and Everett is, but he's certainly not out there for a Sunday drive. Speaking of not Sunday drive...
I was going to say, side-by-side battle for the race lead.
Woo!
Oh, man, Mike, I say Holler being very aggressive. I think that may have been a blip of the throttle to save the contact between those two.
Oh, man. going back to what we were talking about earlier, probably the worst spot you can be in is Everett's spot, because Mike, you're just kind of sitting there playing with house money. You know that Everett's just a little bit more known to be quicker, but you're like right there. So you're pushing hard, but if you make a mistake, it's Everett Paddock, But Everett, if you make one mistake, Mike's gonna go right by you. So even though you have the pace, you still have to be pinpoint perfect. Otherwise, a race win is gonna go out the bag. Honestly, I always like to be in Mike's spot because make a mistake, oh well. You're not having to rely on the clutch factor. You can't really choke from second place.
That is an invitation for a commentator's curse unlike any other. We'll see if Mike's going to be burying James Watson in something later.
It is me we're talking about here. Is there anybody better at the commentator's curse?
Yeah, I can lay claim to a bunch of those as well. Both Brett Gardner and Giancarlo Schooler able to sneak by Jason Owens. Oh, and there goes Mike Holler. Holler's around. He's going to get the car righted. It's all your fault. It's all your fault. Get you the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay on this one. Take a look and see what happened here to Mike Holler. A little bit shallow on corner entry, a little bit too much of the curb, and around it goes. Tough break for Mike Holler, and that's going to put him back into a battle with Brett Gardner. Pushes Scott McIntyre up into a podium position. And how about the good run for Andy Corso? We haven't talked about him much yet here tonight. Carrying the number 10, theoretically, should be towards the back third of this grid. Andy Corso with a fantastic run up here into the second position. He's another guy very much improved from what we saw over the course of last season.
I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to see Andy yeet his car into the wall.
At this point, you're thinking about it, so it still might be your fault anyway. Pick up Brett Gardner all over the back of Mike Holler. Now, when you have a spin like Mike had, is this a situation where he has to be concerned about flat spotting the tires or at least overheating them?
Overheating is definitely a thing you have to be worried about. Thankfully, iRacing doesn't have flat spots, and I hope to hell they never do. So he's going to have to take a lap or two to get them cooled down before he tries to take the podium back.
Which would you rather have first come from iRacing? Flat spotting tires or rain?
No.
Yeah, that's about as accurate of a statement as you could have made there. Gardner making a move on Holler. Holler throws the big block. Gardner going to peek to the outside. They're getting up onto the back wing of Scott McIntyre here, too. This one is most certainly going to be interesting to see how this fight develops because Holler obviously is quicker than Scott McIntyre. At this point, it's going to be, can he get past him and do it in enough time to try to catch up to Andy Corsa? Because it's only about 3 seconds up the road to where Andy Corsa runs.
Poor Mike, he's got deja vu trying to pass the car ahead of him since they're painted the exact same.
This is the battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. The final step on the podium. Everett Paddock with a 3-second lead. Excuse me, 5-second lead over Andy Corsa. Gardner able to get around Holler. Holler back to the inside. Oh, man, big dive there. Holler's got to give up the spot. Brett Gardner now going to go to work on Scott McIntyre.
That was... Oh, wow, that was a risk. I thought we were going to see carbon fiber flying.
Yeah, that had the potential to be very, very ugly. Gardner sneaks a little bit of a peek, showing McIntyre that he's there in the rearview mirror. Great corner exit speed there. Gardner looks down to the inside. He'll get that pass completed. McIntyre going to fight right back. Gardner has to run the wide line. That's going to give the spot right back to McIntyre. Oh, man. Fantastic duel here. Couple of laps past the halfway point. Gardner trying to make it work on the outside now. Can they stay side by side for an entire lap?
Can you? Yes. Should you? No.
Yeah, it's going to end poorly for somebody. Gardner able to clear McIntyre for that 3rd and final spot on the podium. That's going to bring Mike Holler back into the fight with McIntyre now.
Man, Brett took such a weird line through the curve right there. I was surprised to not see him lose any time.
Holler tries to force it up the inside.
Oh, crossover. Oh, he's there. Can he make it stick?
How about Giancarlo Schooler getting into the party as well? Holler's able to make the pass. That was fantastic.
Oh.
So Scott McIntyre back to the 5th position that he started this race in. He has to take... Oh, big lockup by McIntyre. Schooler has to bobble to the outside. Jason Owens now going to try to sneak around Schooler. He's going to have to run the outside line. They'll stay too wide.
Wow, that was a classic big wiggle from Scott.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Jason, little way too early on the break. He might have been able to get him, but for someone who's trying to get his feet under like Jason, that's probably not such a bad thing.
Jason Owens battling with Frank Wynn. Andy Schlosser, Chris Preston here. Let's pick things up here with...
Oh, Lord. I don't like this. I'm scared.
Check in the comments here. We haven't done this yet tonight. John Dinkle checking in saying, heard from him sights move from PM18s to the Radicals. And we have heard Greg say that throughout the course of the evening here. All about the gyro saying, come on, Mr. Corsa. Yeah, good run here for Andy Corsa so far. John Dinkle, man, you have some terrible curses. DeWeather Center commenting, iRacing doesn't have the moist. No, they do not yet have the moist. They're working on it, though.
I don't want to be...
Oh, Frank Wynn goes around!
Wins. Oh.
And there was contact there. Chris Preston took the front wing off, and it looks like that may be game over. Oh, yeah, you can see the left rear tire absolutely junked on Frank Wynn's car. Get you the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay here. See what happened. Just a little bit too much on entry. Pretty big contact there that took... Oh, yeah, the rear end just snapped when he dropped the clutch.
Yep.
Tough break there for Frank Wynn. So let's run you through the field here. Pickup race leader Everett Paddock with a 7-second lead over the second place running Andy Corsa. Great run so far for Corsa. Brett Gardner running in the third position. That is your podium. Now we're going to slide back here, pick up the battle for 6th. It's the closest one on the racetrack by far. Scott McIntyre only a third of a second ahead of Jason Owens. There you go, DeWeather. Yes, someone just got Palmertoned. McIntyre drives wide. Oh, big avoidance move by Owens. Here he comes back down to the inside. That may have been a little bit of self-preservation there by Jason Owens. McIntyre really threw that in deep, coming back onto the racetrack. Down to 5 to go here at the Hungaroring. And the battle for second is starting to tighten up here. We'll get up to it if it gets close. It's sitting between 1/2 and 6/10 of a second right now. Well, it was.
Yeah, that's a lot closer than that.
Yeah, this fight is now down to 1/10 of a second between Brett Gardner and Andy Corsa. Corsa out of the UK and Ireland takes the wide line. That's going to allow Brett Gardner to come through. And how about the drive for Brett Gardner? Up 10 to run in the second position. The Weather Center nailed it. Yes, you did. Well done, Peter. Thank you.
You know, I'm not
that gap's opening up in a. Go ahead.
I'm not entirely sure what a Palmerton is, and honestly, I don't think I really want to know.
Tune in to what you can expect live, 9:30 tomorrow morning Eastern Time on the Do Weather Center Facebook and YouTube channels. And I'm pretty sure we'll be able to discuss what you'll hear a little bit about Palmerton anyway. Scott McIntyre holding that 2-car length lead over Jason Owens. Andy Schlosser going to be about the same thing, about 3 car lengths back. Brett Gardner has already opened up the gap to over 1 second over Andy Corsa. Yeah, this is a very good point here coming in the comments from All About the Gyro. Tire fall off might be a real thing this season with the new tire model. That's something that we haven't talked about yet, but it is going to play a very big factor at various courses this season.
Hooray.
Man, Owen's getting up on the chip a little bit there. Big time aggressive on the curbs. He's back to within a car length of McIntyre.
I'm wondering if that might be the way to go, though, because did you see how much ground he made up on Scott doing that?
Yeah, he was very quick through that section of the race course. McIntyre with an off track. That's going to let Owens get up to the inside. Oh, they almost made contact.
Oh.
If they didn't make contact, it's as close as you can get. Owens forces the door open, and he's going to grab 6. That's going to put McIntyre into a battle with Andy Schlosser. McIntyre tries to force Schlosser wide on the corner. Oh, and he's going to go around.
Oh. This isn't a great lap for Scotty Mac.
No, he's having a very tough time, and he's having a tough time getting that car restarted too. He's got to take the toe.
Oh.
Did he stall it or did it break? Let's try this from a different look here. I think that left rear tire's broken. The same thing we saw with Frank Wynn. Man, it's hard to tell, but...
Although, and he didn't hit it. And that makes me wonder, because I was wondering the same with what happened to Frank. I was watching it going, where did he get hit in the left rear? That can't be netcode. What in the world could
you
that...
almost wonder if that's almost like some sort of a mechanical damage variable that we're just learning about. Kind of like you drop the clutch too hard in an Indy car and you can break a rear half shaft.
Hooray.
Yeah, that makes things interesting for sure. Down to 2 laps to go here, and we're following along with race leader Everett Paddock. The man has been spectacular tonight. There's the gaps to the race leader. Both Frank Wynn and Scott McIntyre are out of this race. The 11 cars on the racetrack all remain on the lead lap. So other than the couple of issues we've seen, it's been a pretty clean race here.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of things about various drivers struggling to pass this week, and honestly, they could have fooled us because we've seen some great maneuvers tonight.
All about the gyro. I can confirm that there is clutch wear in iRacing this season.
Why? I mean, I don't even use the clutch, so I don't think it'll affect me, but...
You don't use the clutch. However, you still have... Even if you're going to bypass it with how you shift, there's still going to be wear and tear on it. Even cars with flappy paddle shifters, you're still at least getting... In order to change the gears, you have to get the engine and the transmission RPMs lined up if you're going to not use the clutch. There's no way that you're going to be that accurate driving a sim car. So I can see that becoming an issue as white flag is out. 1 lap to go for race leader Everett Paddock. Mike Holler is putting in a valiant drive, but unfortunately it may not be enough here. As
I don't know. He seems pretty close to me.
I say he's down to about 3/4 of a second here on Andy Corsa. If the gap gets any closer, we'll come back to this battle. But we haven't shown this guy enough tonight in a dominating performance to open up 2021 Season 4. The lead right now sits at 7.5 seconds for Everett Paddock over Brett Gardner. Just a few corners left to go. Everett Paddock absolutely in control of this race. Through the final corner, over the start-finish line. From green to checkered, Everett Paddock comes home with the win. And we've got a battle for the final podium spot. Mike Holler trying everything in his book of tricks, but it's not going to work. Andy Corsa comes home third by 1/10 of a second over Mike Holler. Wow. What a race for the third and final position on the podium. There's a look at Brett Gardner, your runner-up here this evening. Very good race all the way around. This one was a ton of fun. I had some legitimate concerns about a first-time trip to a place like the Hungaroring. And I'll tell you what, James, it did not disappoint, that's for sure.
No, this was an absolute blast of a race. This might be one of the best races we've seen.
So now we're going to see who we can get into the broadcast booth here. But as we wait for everybody to get available for the interviews here, let's show you the race results. Everett Paddock is your winner by 7.7 seconds over Brett Gardner. Andy Corsa rounds out the podium 14 seconds behind your race winner in third. Mike Holler, Giancarlo Schooler complete the top 5. Holler finishing third by just over 1/10 of a second. Jason Owens with a good run to 6th. Andy Schlosser 7th. Chris Preston 8th. Mike Reiskamp 9th. J.W. Miller completes the top 10. Simon Fell finishing 1 minute in arrears in the 11th position, the final car on the racetrack. Scott McIntyre and Frank Wynn will complete your 13-car field here this evening. And look at that, on cue. All of these guys jumping into the booth for us. So let's get the cameras ready to roll here, and we'll kick things off with our third place finisher here this evening, Mr. Andy Corsa. Tell you what, Andy, that was a heck of a run for you tonight. Practiced well, qualified third, brought the car home right where you started.
Yeah, brilliant race. Went exactly how I planned it. I literally haven't done any racing all week, and this was the first time I've actually done the Indy Pro race. So yeah, just put a bit of practice in before it, and here I am.
When you were coming around, you saw Mike Holler sideways. Did you know then that it looks like your race was going to be pretty much here, run it out, and you'll be able to come home top 2, top 3?
Yeah, I mean, I always run my races as I see it. I don't push myself past the point of where I feel comfortable. And just seeing Michael there, I thought, right, just keep doing what you're doing, you'll be fine. And then I just saw, I think it was Brett coming through, and I didn't have anything for him, so I just let him go and just continued doing my race. I was lucky when it finished though, because otherwise Michael was going to have me.
I was going to say, tell me about that last lap battle there with Mike, because that was impressive. That was a lot of fun to watch.
It was one of those. I've raced with Mike quite a lot, and I have a bit of back and forth with him since Red Bull Ring last season. I know him as a Golden Bowling Ball, but we won't go into that one. But yeah, just really good to race with Mike. Everett, Jason's out on road tracks now as well, which is really good to see. Yeah, just really didn't want to let him pass, but I knew if he got to me, I wasn't going to fight him. I would have let him go because I just wanted to do my own race.
All about the gyro checking in, saying hashtag Corsa Power. So you got some fans out here watching too. So congratulations, brother, on the podium finish. Great point start to the season as well. Let's get any plugs and thank yous that you have in here as well.
All I wanted to really say is thank you to the likes of GSI who provided me with a steering wheel. Jose is awesome at what he does. GSI wheels are always top notch, so I can't fault him that. Goon Squad, so the likes of JG, Frankie, Slice, all the guys there that just keep racing with me, keeping me entertained, and you guys for just putting on another fantastic broadcast, and I look forward to the rest of the season.
Well, thank you very much, sir. We appreciate it, and let's get let's bring in our race winner here. This guy was dominant from front to back. Just an impressive drive all around. But I'll tell you what, Everett, congratulations on the win here, but that was not easy for the first half of it.
Yeah, you got that right, Chris. Michael was giving me everything I wanted there and more. I didn't think I was going to be able to hold on. I half dialed it a couple times, but Michael was very gracious and stayed out of the back of me.
Once that type of incident happens, does your mindset change as the race leader? You know how big the gaps are, does it just become about hot lapping and hitting your marks at that point?
Yeah, I try to run some fast laps to stay, to keep my concentration. But this is a tough track. I mean, you can see how easily it can bite you. So there's a fine line there. But I was going as fast as I could. There's some fast guys in this race.
Well, it's a fantastic win, and really the way you want to kick off a championship run. Looks like we may not have Greg Seitz running the PM18s this season, so it definitely opens the field up here, and you made a pretty big claim here that this championship's going to be yours.
Well, it's there's a lot of racing left to do, and you never know. Greg could show up at any time and start stealing points away from any of us, but we'll see. It's just looking to have some fun this season, run some races. So we'll see how it goes.
Watching the white flag lap for you here, and you're still hanging the back end out off these corners. That was a ton of fun to watch. Congratulations on the win here tonight, Everett, and let's get all the thank yous and shout-outs in.
Yeah, shout out to the community managers for putting the schedule together, keeping the participation high. So hopefully we can pick up a little bit as we go along. But I want to thank my teammate Amadema. I was really struggling here. He came up with a setup today, or I may not have raced, so I really appreciate his generosity.
All right, Everett, thank you very much here. We appreciate that one. And let's see here. Let's talk to Mike Collar here. Mike, you were putting on a heck of a show with Everett, and then you had the issue, and then you put on a heck of a show with Andy at the end there. So thank you for making the show enjoyable.
I'm glad I could be here and in what do we call it? Participating. Not quite a podium. I'm actually unexpected to be pulled into here, but that was a fantastic race, end to end. When I spun, I was like, all right, like I'd be in the midfield. I got the pace. And then I forgot Brett was back there, started from the back. And that I know that me bunching him up caused some really good racing to happen in the back. And it was fun filtering through, too. That was close. And it was all clean for the most part, at least for me. I heard some incidents, but...
You know what? There was a little bit, but not anything, that was really crazy. I mean, we had one of the interesting things, and maybe you can touch to this a little bit. We think both Frank Wynn and Scott McIntyre went out of these races after relatively minor incidents with what looked like a broken clutch. Is that something that, we've heard that there's clutch wear? Man, that makes things interesting if you could actually blow one of those things up.
No, there was contact between Frank and Scott. I'm not sure if you missed it, but I heard Frank apologizing. So there was something happened there. I'm going to take a look myself and see, because that was unfortunate for both of them.
Yeah, it was. At least from what we saw, it looked relatively harmless. No contact to the rear of the car, anyway, that would have put Frank out of the race. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that develops over the course of the year. You guys also got the new tire model. How was that tonight in reacting to it, especially after the spin, where I would imagine you put a bunch of heat in the tires?
So the new tire model was it was easier to catch everything, I felt. I almost caught that spin too, even though I was wildly sideways. It was right on the edge, but just tilted the wrong way. The track state was really good here. I think we were pretty cool compared to the practice sessions that I'd been in. But I did a race early in the week, and the tires here felt like they wore a lot faster. Maybe it was just my spin putting the heat into it, but it was good, and it was good to see such a strong showing today. We've been a little bit weak this week. I'm not sure if people are just holding off on buying the track or what, but I was in the first race this season. I think it had about the same number of entrants, and we haven't been there until now. It was really good to see everybody, and good to this was much closer than my first race, and it was intense the whole way through. One of the things when I tried this track out, I didn't realize how steep 2 was. Like you see it on TV in Formula 1, and it is a cliff when you're going down, and the track just falls away. And the first thing I remarked was, I don't know how in Formula 1 they go side by side down here. There is no way I can make that happen. And then somehow on turn 1, I was like, I'm just going to try it. And it worked somehow. It doesn't feel like it should, but I didn't expect racing like that on this track. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was an absolute blast. So congratulations on – yeah, go ahead.
Real quick, I just wanted to apologize for that spin.
Oh no, you cursed me. That's what it was.
Yes, it was.
It really was.
It was a commentator's curse for Mr. Watson. I mean, it was within probably 10 seconds of him saying something nice about you that you looped it around. So, yes, it's all James Watson's fault. Mike, congratulations on a pretty good run here tonight and a good way to start the season. Let's make sure we get all your sponsor plugs and thank yous in.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I get the honor the podium for entertainment, I guess. But yeah, it was good being here. Good first and foremost, thanks for everyone who contributed to this to make the broadcast happen for the season. Really good to that we're continuing to do that, and really good that you two are continuing on for the broadcast. Appreciate that. Appreciate Doug for the setup that I was running. It was really comfortable, except in I think one in the final turn, but everywhere else it was solid. That was a lot of fun. I know a few other people were running that here. Maybe that contributed to the good racing. Thanks to my fiance Valerie who's watching, and thanks to Citizens Climate Lobby for the good work they're doing.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. We appreciate it, brother. Looking forward to talking to you more here as we go. And with that, James, we're going to wrap things up here. This one was fun, man. I was not expecting this out of the Hungaroring, and it put on a pretty incredible show.
Yeah, this race was a blast. Given the feedback we heard, I wasn't expecting much. My expectations were fairly low, and it absolutely demolished them. This race was a blast from start to finish.
Next week, we head off to another fun racetrack, 24 laps around Road Atlanta. That place is bad fast, and the PM18s are going to put on a pretty wild show. About as close to a pack race as you're going to get going to a road course. But with that, we are getting out of here. A night of broadcast excellence coming to a conclusion. Coming up tomorrow night, live real-world racing action from Linda Speedway, Jonestown, Pennsylvania. Following that up, Monday night, the Silver Crown Series is back in action. Tuesday night, 8 to 11 p.m., it's the TNT Rock Block, kicking off with a free V Series, followed up with a Shock Series for the USF 2000 cars, and the Bolt Series for these PM18s. Last week was incredible. You don't want to miss what they're going to have coming up this week. But with that, we're getting out of here. For James Watson, Connor Baldwin, everybody here at the National Racing Network, my name is Chris Graham. It's been a pleasure to have you hanging out with us tonight. We look forward to talking to you soon. Have a good night, everybody.